Hello, and thanks for joining us for this special look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT Trackhawk, a vehicle destined to become a coveted collector car in the near future. So get comfortable as we tell you the story of the brief, albeit legendary, life of the most powerful SUV ever produced. Let's go for a ride. Although Jeep has a long and fascinating history as one of America's most recognized brands, right alongside such other iconic classics as Coca-Cola, Levi's, and McDonald's, the brand became even more legendary as Jeep came into the Chrysler family in 1987, but really not until 2003 with the debut of the modern 5.7-liter Hemi engine. Jeep brand now had the luxury of being part of a much larger company, with more development and marketing money than American Motors ever had. Finally, in 1998, the German-based Daimler-Benz AG Group was finally able to consummate a takeover. One of the principal reasons that Daimler wanted Chrysler was cited at the time because of the value of the Jeep brand. A little over a decade later, in 2007, until present day, the company would be sold again 3 more times. Each time, Jeep was a big reason the company continued to be desirable for another merger. As was the case since the original 1987 sale, a lot of research and development was spent on Jeep that would otherwise not have been there with American Motors. This also made for an ever-improving product line. Chrysler has always been known as a company that values performance, going clear back to 1951 when development done during World War II brought forth the legendary Hemi engine, although not called a Hemi at the time of its first displacement of 331 cubic inches. As we all know, the Hemi continued to be improved until the most legendary of them all finally displaced 426 cubic inches and was used in the most iconic of 1960s and 70s muscle cars of the Dodge and Plymouth variety. After this period was over, Chrysler was forced to build and sell fairly mundane transportation, along with every other American manufacturer, especially when compared to a decade earlier. Jeep was still building the CJ series and other models, including a larger 2- and 4-door SUV called Cherokee, and then even made a pickup for a while. Hardcore performance enthusiasts would have to wait until 2003 when Chrysler would give us the new 5.7 Hemi. Further development kept increasing the engine's displacement and performance ability until the best of the best came forth, the 6.2-liter supercharged Hellcat engine, now also shared with several other products from Chrysler and their parent company. The focus of our video today is the amazing Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, a vehicle that was only in production for 4 model years with less than 11,000 made during that time. It benefited from all the previous research and development in the cars, light trucks, and SUVs. Production was extremely low for several reasons. 1, the price. A base model was in the mid-$80,000 range. 2, limited publicity to drive demand. And 3, production issues with specialty parts availability, especially since the spring of 2020. But for any lucky person who has one, they don't mind the low production numbers. Plus, these rocket ship SUVs are finally being recognized for their unique contribution to the Jeep brand and the performance legacy of Chrysler. Jeep first introduced the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT Trackhawk at the 2017 New York International Auto Show. The SRT Trackhawk is the highest performance Grand Cherokee model to date. Incidentally, SRT stands for Street and Racing Technology. Here are the specs for this incredible machine. 6.2-liter supercharged Hellcat Hemi V8, 707 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, and 645 pound-foot of torque, and 4,800 RPM, requiring a minimum 91 octane unleaded fuel. An 8-speed ZF-built automatic transmission with steering wheel mounted shift paddles, all-wheel drive, 3.70 rear axle ratio, specially designed high-performance Brembo brake system, 6-piston front and 4-piston rear calipers. Standard 20-inch by 10-inch polished forged aluminum wheels with titanium 2 painted pockets and satin chrome wheel center caps. An optional 20-inch by 10-inch gloss black lightweight aluminum wheels with black wheel center caps, standard P295 45 ZR20 Pirelli Scorpion Verde run flat all-season tires, optionally a P295 45 ZR20 Pirelli P0 run flat 3-season tires, an estimated 5,363 pound curb weight, an estimated 600 pound gross vehicle weight rating, a nearly perfect 55 to 45 front and rear weight distribution, 7,200 pound maximum towing capacity, a flat bottom steering wheel, Laguna leather interior with carbon fiber trim. All of these features in a vehicle that comfortably seats 5 adults. Wow! To quote Motor Trend magazine, as the most powerful and quickest SUV, there is nothing else like the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk in the market, and with its starting price of $85,900 plus $1,095 destination, there is no better value for a high-performance SUV. 2018 was the year that SRT Trackhawk got the most ink in enthusiast magazines, and the production total of 6,771 units was probably right on target. For 2019, only 1,472 new units hit dealer showrooms. In 2020, the dismal production numbers continued. Depending on which source I referenced, either a meager 979 cars were sold or as many as 1,148. Either number, however, is far from what it should have been. I was not able to find definitive production numbers for the final year. If anyone knows for sure, please leave it in the comments. Over the production run, only a few things were added or taken from the standard equipment and option lists, mostly cosmetics like color and trim availability and changes to the infotainment systems. The Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT Trackhawk is undisputedly the most powerful and quickest SUV ever built. The Trackhawk is capable of 0 to 60 mile/hour time of 3.5 seconds, a quarter-mile run of 11.6 seconds, and a top speed of 180 miles an hour. The 2-row all-wheel drive performance SUV has been at the forefront of the SRT program's battle against the world's best for SUV supremacy since its introduction in 2018. The 2021 models were the last hurrah for this supercharged vehicle due to continually growing emissions regulations and Dodge's parent company's plans for total electrification for each model by 2024. It's just another end of an era, something car enthusiasts should be used to by now. What engineers learned during the Trackhawk program wasn't for naught. Realizing the Trackhawk was definitely a success amongst enthusiasts as a flagship vehicle for the company inspired them to build a small run of the 2021 Ram 1500. Utilizing the same drivetrain, the new model was dubbed TRX Launch Edition and was limited to only 702 units, exactly how much horsepower the Hellcat engine puts out. To say it was a success is an understatement. All 702 vehicles were spoken for by selling out in approximately 3 hours after the order books opened on August 18th of 2020 for the 21 model year. Priced at $92,010, the Dodge 1500 TRX Launch Edition holds the undeniable honor of being the most expensive half-ton production pickup, both domestic and foreign, ever available up to that time. Even the standard TRX wears a base MSRP of many thousands of dollars more than the Ford Raptor crew cab, their only competitor in this class of full-size pickup trucks. The special model this year is called the Sandblast Edition and is specifically designed for off-road use. But that doesn't mean there may not ever be another Grand Cherokee SRT Trackhawk in the future. We could see a new turbocharged inline-6 power plant from the popular full-size SUV next year. This new engine will be manufactured by Stellantis NV, a multinational automotive corporation formed in 2021 in a 50-50 partnership between the Italian-American conglomerate Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the French PSA Group. The new company is now headquartered in Amsterdam. This new engine will offer plug-in hybrid capability in the upcoming 2023 Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer models, and perhaps in the truck line as well. The GME T6 PHEV, as it is now being called, could offer more power than the previous Grand Cherokee SRT's 6.4-liter SRT Hemi V8. It is expected that the GME T6 electrified option will provide no turbo lag, thanks to its electric assist called e-booster. This means instant boost every time. This new engine family has not been officially announced. While 525 horsepower is a long way away from the 707 horsepower rating of the previous Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, ever-evolving technology will one day soon bridge the gap. Whatever happens, I believe these SRT Trackhawks will be a future collectible, due to many factors I've outlined here. There are currently a few on the secondary market, so pick one up if you want, because they'll probably never be this cheap. While the technology for new electric-powered automobiles is impressive, there's no substitute for the personality traits exhibited by a performance gas-powered V8 that has the sound that no EV will ever achieve. But old school and new school can peacefully coexist, as was the case with the first Hemi debuted over 70 years ago, when people were undoubtedly comparing it to the Ford Model A built 20 years prior, just like was done in 1971 when looking back 20 years. And so it goes. Thanks so much for joining us today for this special edition. What are your thoughts about Chrysler going to full electrification in just 2 years? Tell us in the comments. Join us this upcoming Sunday as we bring you a very cool story of a young man who first fell in love with his Mustang in high school, and all this time later, he still has it. It's a great love story between a man and his car, and you don't want to miss it. See you then, and until then, please remember, be careful out there.